Welcome back. We've been talking about many small things from last two of the sessions. We spoke of what a homeowner should be aware of. First of all, we spoke on windows, then the doors, sliding doors. Then we spoke on the balustrades, the handrails, the treads, riser, the sprinkler. Going the same momentum, now today we're going to talk on many of the electrical aspects, what you should be aware of as a homeowner. And having got a new home, so basically electricals requires a little attention because of one is the continuity of power supply, second is the safety aspects. Here I'm going to take you through to start with ELCB. What does an ELCB mean? In expansion, it is nothing but earth leakage circuit breaker. As the name itself suggests, when there is any earthing or for any reason, if the electrical circuit gets earthed or somebody touches the live wire by mistake, there is a possibility of electrocution. The ELCB is a device which trips immediately moment it senses some earthing current being passed. So it not only serves as a circuit breaker, it also serves as a protective device preventing you from getting electrocuted. For example, if a child by mistake puts in a sharp object in one of the power sockets, luckily if there is an ELCB, it immediately trips in microseconds and avoids electrical shock. There will be a small jolt, but by the time you realize what's happening, you are already tripped the circuit and you are safe. So it's a very important aspect in electrical circuits. And next, what to look for is whether you have all the MCBs in place. MCB means miniature circuit breaker. Here, these are the small devices which act as a switch for a particular circuit. So we have the option of cutting the circuit or switching it on. And the other major function of MCB is overload protection. Moment there is a overload in the circuit for whatever reason, either you have connected a higher load or unknowingly you switched on some equipment which is got short circuited, because of which higher current flows for a few seconds. If not prevented, the circuit will get burnt out. All the wirings will get burnt out. So if you have a MCB which is working properly, it will immediately trip and isolate the circuit. Thus, it prevents the circuit being burnt in case of short circuit. And the secondary function is when you want to undertake a repair or do some small any changes in the circuit there, you have an option of switching off the circuit by using this MCB. So in a house, there will be different rooms, there will be different circuits. Each circuit will have a separate miniature circuit breaker. By choosing which circuit breaker to switch on or which one to switch off, you have a complete control over the different circuits in a house. Why are house wiring divided into different circuits? Because if you have a small fault in one of the rooms, so that fault will make the circuit breaker trip. If you don't have different circuits, the whole house has to be switched off till you rectify the whole thing. Now we have an option to switch off that particular circuit and keep working in other rooms. That's an advantage of having MCB. Now, how do you know which circuit belongs to which room and which circuit breaker to be operated in case you want to isolate? That is given by a single line diagram, which is also called as a circuit diagram. Where do you find the circuit diagram? Strictly speaking, it has to be pasted on the distribution board cover. So make sure that the moment you enter your flat or home, there is a distribution board which houses all this MCB, the ELCB, and all the test circuits. So if the circuit diagram is pasted on the window or door of the circuit breaker box, what you call it as a distribution box. You will know which circuit breaker belongs to which room and how to operate it. So that's another advantage of having a single diagram or a circuit breaker. And finally, you should make sure of one thing, that is a power backup. How much of power backup do you have? The power backup is defined in the percentage of backup. If you say 100% power backup from your genset, that means you can operate all the devices without compromising any of the devices, just like there is a power supply from the electricity board. And sometimes this becomes very expensive or prohibitive because of the cost. You may not need to switch on all the equipment at the same time. In that case, you may decide to go for 50% backup or 60% backup. When you have a 50% backup, that means only you can operate half the capacity, where you may have to compromise on not switching on the geyser, or you may not be allowed to switch on the electric stove. But that may be sufficient in most of the cases. The fridge will be working, your lights will be working, the fans will be working. And in case you want to switch on something, probably you'll have to switch off something. But we have about 50% backup or 60% backup. So this choice is yours, and while you're selecting a particular home power backup, you can select this depending on your budget or the requirement. So with that, you can have a small idea of what all you should look for in electrical circuits. So we are here for you. You can reach us and we can give you all the guidance that is required. Please subscribe to our channel here, and to know more about this, please keep viewing our channel. Thank you.